Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mnguni Mkonto. Today is the 27th of April. The year is 2024. The 27th of April in 1994, which is exactly 30 years ago, it was the first so-called democratic elections in South Africa to free black people from apartheid and slavery. But did it really happen? And if it did not happen, what actually happened? These are the questions that I wish to answer today, and the fact that what is our situation at the current moment. President Zuma have been trying to explain in most of his campaigns on what happened actually for us to find ourselves in this situation. When the ANC uh, went underground in 1963, when they went underground, was it 1963? I'm not sure there. You can correct me of the time when they went underground, or all political organizations, black political organizations, went underground. They went underground after the banning of black political parties in South Africa to enforce full apartheid laws across South Africa, to ensure that the apartheid government capacitate the white man to have advantage over the black person. When they started enforcing apartheid, they've already had years of working on the ground, grabbing the land, killing black people. They already amassed a lot of wealth. So apartheid was just an administration that was administering the already stolen resources to ensure that they benefited the white people. So President Zuma has been trying to explain what happened to the ANC. The ANC, when it went underground, needed finances to launch the struggle against apartheid. They went to Europe. England could not help them because the Queen was the one who was enforcing apartheid on black people. And they went to America for help. America could not help them because they were working with the apartheid government as well. So the ANC went to Cuba, and the ANC went to the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union, which was the union of countries in Eastern Europe, they were communist countries which the Americans were fighting. So Russians sponsored the ANC or the MK military wing with guns and with finances to fight the apartheid government. Meaning the Russians have sponsored black people to fight against the Queen in those years. The Soviet Union has sponsored black people in South Africa to fight against the rule and the authority of the Queen through apartheid governing. That's what happened. So when in 1990 the Soviet Union collapsed, meaning communism collapsed across the world. Capitalism won against the Soviet Union. Maybe if you want me to talk about the Soviet Union or those type of politics, you can tell me. I'll talk about it. Um, so the Soviet Union in 1990 collapsed. Even the countries were separated. Russia was now on its own, and the other countries which formed the part of the Soviet Union were separated. Europe wanted actually divided the Soviet Union and destabilized the Eastern Europe at that time in 1990. But in 1990, it was at the same time the ANC was winning against apartheid government in South Africa. Not necessarily winning, but the apartheid government wanted to use the ANC to allow black people into the economy of the white man, because the economy of the white man was now struggling. So they needed a way to involve black people in a way that they will be appreciated, in a way that will fool black people that they are free. So they wanted to use the ANC for these transitions. For this purpose, they held secret meetings with leaders of the ANC. Mandela was actually released from jail in 1987. From there, he was just sitting in somebody's house, in a white man's house somewhere in Joburg. They call it a prison, but it was not a prison. It was a place where Mandela was taken care of by white people, visited by white people only, spoken to by white people only most of the time, because they wanted to change his thinking or his mentality to what they wanted to change about the ANC was growth of the economy through redistribution. Because they wanted the ANC to adopt the strategy to grow the economy through capital, and then that will trickle down into the smaller person, and the growth will reach everybody at the end of the day. That is what white people wanted Mandela to adapt, and that is what Mandela has adapted. Mandela did not implement what he wanted, which is the land expropriation without compensation. It's actually what Mandela wanted. This is not a new thing. It's what the kings who started the ANC wanted. They wanted their land back after the formation of the Union of South Africa. So the ANC was now in trouble because the people who sponsored them, which is the Soviet Union, has collapsed. There's nobody, they don't have an international power or backing for the comrades. The guns are not there anymore. Russia will not sponsor you with the guns anymore because the Soviet Union has collapsed. And then the next thing, the American empire has won against communism. So the the ANC comrades were left with first, white people had bargaining power, because you know when a master talks to a slave, the master has the bargaining power. So That is the first advantage that white people had over us. The second advantage that white people had over the black people during negotiations, there were several people who were working for the apartheid government in the ANC. Those people were elevated to the leadership of the ANC um, through covert styles. Uh, so the apartheid government had an advantage because they had implants in the ANC. They planted people there. Um, so the decisions of the ANC were now diluted by the spies. So there were spies in they started to the spies started to infiltrate the ANC in order to lead the ANC, because the purpose, they wanted the spies, the people who were apartheid spies, to be rewarded, either to become billionaires or to become leaders of the ANC who are going to lead the country in the future. And that is what we are seeing today. Those who are honest people were chased away from the ANC, and those who are dishonest and conniving in their nature are now in the ANC. That was the plan that they had since 1990. So the third advantage that white people had over black people during the negotiations, they had financial power. There were other comrades who were bought out, who were given shares in mining companies. Some were given shares in trucking companies. In different industries, comrades were convinced. And some were even threatened to be killed. Some were even killed because we still don't know who killed Chris Hani, even up to today. We know it's Janus Walus, but we don't know who were the conspirators are behind it. And I think the reason is because some of the leaders that we hail them as our great leaders may be involved in the killing of Chris Hani. I mean, some of the leaders, black leaders in the ANC, some of the people, prominent leaders in the ANC, could have been involved in the killing of Chris Hani. I suspect, because I think they should know who killed him, and we still don't know up to date who killed Hani. Nobody is telling us um, what happened with that case. Today, I'm not talking about that one. I was just talking in passing, but I'm talking about the 27th of April as the Freedom Day. I'm giving an account of history to the future, so that the future will know that there were other people who were aware of what was happening. So many of the ANC comrades were bought out. So they sold out in that time. The ANC has been given to the capital and has been given to the white people. So that's how we find ourselves. What happened in 1994, 27th of April. It was a properly planned handover of power to black people who will be properly monitored, by white people during the transition to ensure that the white man does not lose a single thing that he took from the black man. It was a proper orchestrated plan by the white people and the white system. They only wanted to allow their economies to be consumed by the black man. They only wanted the black man to be allowed because, uh, you know, one painful thing about the development of these malls, which we see here, one painful thing about that is that it destroyed the black business. The black business has been destroyed by the malls. The space there is too expensive, and people who've been trading, the closer you get to the mall, the less business for black people. So white people only wanted to take their businesses to black people. That's what they wanted, not that they wanted black people to be free. So that is why today we find ourselves without the freedom which we thought we had in 1994. That is why we find ourselves in this apartheid government. That is why we find ourselves in this land which is owned by the Queen of England. So this was just an account of history of this day. So we still have to be free. South Africans have to be freed. President Zuma is the only one who can free black people from this system of slavery. We have the opportunity because the vote can work. So we have the opportunity to do that. Let's go out and vote. I thank you.